Aquatic Ruin Zone. I haven't even been paying attention to how many Chaos Emeralds we have. I've just kind of been going. Honestly, I don't even think it matters if I get all the Chaos Emeralds. I'm still gonna try. But, you know, I don't think it's a priority. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to my rant about Capcom and how they should do more with their fighting games. I don't know what it's been lately, but I've been, like, really into traditional fighters more often. Like, I've been trying out a lot of them. I've been learning stuff about them. I've been indulging in the fighting game community for a little bit, I guess I should say, instead of just all the gibberish I just said. I don't even know what I said there. And after playing through a good number of them, I think I can say that I have a higher appreciation for the series, for the genre. So now I look at that. Now I look at some games and go, this could be more. Like, it's good, but why didn't they go all out? But again, I'm just a consumer. I'm not the developer of a multi-billionaire company creating Street Fighter, you know? I don't know, like, I just want to see older IPs represented, I guess is what I'm trying to say, through, like, if you're not going to do anything, do them in a crossover fighting game, why not? Like, with Marvel vs. Capcom, honestly, for Capcom, that's just a moneymaker, right? They can throw whatever characters they want in that game, and no one would question it. Like, yeah, of course Firebrand's in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Of course he is. That totally makes sense for Capcom to put him in there. But Marvel, what they do with that series, they just shove whatever character is coming up in the next movie, or like they're making a big comic out of it, whatever. They just put whatever the next big character is they want to be in that game. I'm just surprised, like, Capcom just does whatever they want. They do whatever they want with that roster. I think probably the, like, biggest IP they put in Marvel vs. Capcom was Monster Hunter and Resident Evil. That's it. Like, sure, Mega Man and Zero are in it, but is Mega Man even as big as... Would you say Mega Man is as big as it is today as it was back then? I don't think so. Personally, me, I didn't know that many Mega Man fans. Like, and the Mega Man fans I do know, they're like Mega Man fans. They love the franchise. But like all my other friends, they've either never even played a Mega Man game or just not interested in the franchise, period. What was the point I was trying to make? I'm just rambling on at this point. I was trying to make a point, like, saying maybe Capcom should just put characters in that they maybe want to test to see if people get a reaction out of this character being in the game. Because Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, like, I think every single character in that game is either just the exact same character as it was in a previous Marvel vs. Capcom, or it's Monster Hunter. And if you get Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite for Monster Hunter, sucks for you because Monster Hunter's DLC. You gotta put a few more dollars into that game, which... You know, it's Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Do you want to spend more money than you have to on that game? I guess I shouldn't shit on the game too much. Like, I know Infinite has its fans. I know it's not the worst fighting game, but God, is it the ugliest. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that Marvel vs. Capcom's Capcom representation is safe. It's like super safe. And they don't try to go crazy with the representation in it. Like, I'm sure if the next Marvel crossover game, not Marvel, the next Capcom crossover game comes out and they announce a Power Stone character, oh, I'm sure people will get a huge reaction out of that. Like, holy shit. I don't even think across all of Marvel vs. Capcom history, not even in 2, I don't think there's a Power Stone character ever represented in that series. And I think it has something to do with... it might be release dates, maybe. Maybe Power Stone wasn't created when Marvel vs. Capcom 2 came out. I don't know. I don't look at a calendar. But, like, if they're ever going to make another Marvel vs. Capcom, I want them to try with a more varied roster, you know? I want to see more obscure characters. I want to see more like, oh... this character existed, that's crazy, and then the retro fans would be like, holy shit, this character existed in 2020, whatever the game's being made in. You know, I can't get up here as Knuckles. Knuckles' jump is too weak to get up there. How do I get out of here, then? I'm stuck. This entire video has just been me rambling about... So far, this entire run has just been me rambling about fighting games. Maybe I just want to play a fighting game right now, I don't know. Me and Platinum were, we were trying to figure out games to play one night, and I offered we should play this one game that I just randomly own, and it's a game called Them Fighting Herds. The best way I can describe it is it's a fighting game that's heavily inspired by My Little Pony. And, not gonna lie, me and Platinum had a lot of fun with that game, surprisingly. Some of the characters, I'm not gonna say all the characters in that game, but some of the characters in that game were developed really well. They play very nice. One character in particular, we swore to never touch ever again, because the character is just too much. I'm having a really tough time with this boss fight because Knuckles cannot jump. But, like, I think the thing that got us most excited about Them Fighting Herds was when we were looking at the alt costumes and realized that they're all references to other IPs. And I thought that was amazing. Like, there's this one character that's like a dragon, right? They have an alt skin that just makes him Bowser. It just makes him look like... It gives him Bowser's color scheme. And that's a nice touch. That's just nice. Like... Like, obviously your fighting game isn't... It's, like, drawing in other My Little Pony fans, right? Other people who are playing it are probably not going to be more fascinated by the fact that it's a My Little Pony inspired fighting game. So you appeal to those guys through all costumes. I think that's smart. Anyway, I wasn't trying to make a point by bringing that game up. I was just mentioning that me and Platinum played Them Fighting Herds and actually had a good time with it. So if you guys are a fan of 2D fighting games and want to try something new, maybe another new game that you could perhaps find some enjoyment in, try Them Fighting Herds. It's a little pricey for what it is, in my opinion, but hey, if you get it cheap, then go right ahead. Have you guys ever played Darkstalkers? I did play Darkstalkers. I played it when I briefly owned PlayStation Now. When I briefly had a subscription for that, I played Darkstalkers. I played the Resurrection Collection. But I'd like to play it again, because when I played Darkstalkers, that was back then when I didn't appreciate fighting games as much as I do now. So, I don't know. If I go back to it now, I might have a different opinion about it. Because right now, my opinion about it is kind of ant, because that's just how it is. So I'd really like to try Darkstalkers again anytime soon. I can't believe that collection's not on Steam, honestly. I can't believe it's not anywhere on, like, digital storefronts for PC. I don't know, maybe Capcom didn't see a market in Steam back then. Maybe. Probably, actually. If you look up Capcom's games on Steam, there's not really a huge selection, but they're getting there. Like, there are some heavy hitters they're missing. I missed a checkpoint, didn't I? Yes, I did. God damn it, that's twice now I missed a checkpoint. Dude, I didn't see a single checkpoint that entire run. What the hell, man? How many Chaos Emeralds do I have? Like 4? How am I missing so much? I'm not leaving the zone until we get the Chaos Emerald, so I'm saving right here in case we do miss it. I might go for a double if I can, since I know that's a possibility. I don't know what Capcom is focused on right now. They're probably focused on Resident Evils, considering how that franchise is just booming right now. But I don't know, with as big of as much IPs as Capcom owns, I think they should just make their own crossover fighting game with all their IPs. They don't need Marvel. They don't need other companies to sell a successful crossover game with all their IPs. Their roster is huge. They have so many. They can fit an entire game of just their characters. And people would buy it. I would buy it. Oh, while we're on the topic of Capcom fighting games, I came to a realization when I was watching a bunch of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 videos. I came to a realization that the reason why Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is the way it is because it reused a bunch of assets from previous Marvel vs. Capcom games and other fighting games, you know? Because I was looking at Morgan's sprite in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and I looked at it and I was like, why is this so off compared to everything else? Like, why does it look so weird? I don't know if this is true, but I think it's because it's not... I don't think Morgan's been in Marvel vs. Capcom. Maybe she has been, but the sprite they use in that game might just be from a Darkstalkers game. And they didn't bother to change the art style or anything. And that's why she looks so weird. And then after I came to that conclusion of why Morgan looks like that, I came to another conclusion like, man, that's why this game is the way it is. That's why there are so many characters in it. That's why everybody likes it. They reused assets from previous games and just kept adding to it. And you can't really do that anymore these days. And when I realized that, I was like, damn, we're never getting a game like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 ever again. And that's exactly why Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, they're not as good as 2. That's exactly why it is. And that realization kind of hit me hard. I was like, damn, that game is so good. And there will never be a game that'll top it. You know, that sucks. There will never be a game that tops its roster in the Marvel vs. Capcom series, I mean, or Capcom Fighters in general. There will never be a series that... There'll never be another game that will even get close to what MVC 2 accomplished. That sucks. Like, it's possible that a game like that could come out again, but there would have to be so much manpower to be put behind it to make as many characters as Marvel vs. Capcom 2 has, even more so. Like, okay, if Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was developed today, it would not have the roster it would have, and it would probably not be as fun as it is right now. It would be more modernized, right? But if a game just like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 were to be developed in this day and age, so many hours would have to be put into it. So many hours. So many people would have to be working behind it. It would take forever for that game to be finished. And that's why I think, like, it's not possible. Because that would require a bunch of money, first of all. You have to pay everyone in there. And God, it would just be so much work to make a game like that. And that sucks. Like, there's, like, no shit people are talking about bringing the game back. Because there's never going to be a game like that ever again. And it would be nice to just have the ability to play it, you know? Like, sure, you saw the physical editions, like, on Xbox, Dreamcast, PlayStation. It's on PlayStation, right? Yeah. And, of course, the people who have legacy accounts that have the digital versions on Xbox and PS3. Which, good for them. I did not mean to pause. I meant to jump. Like, I used to have an Xbox account that had Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on it, and I wish I had that account back. Because that version of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is, like, the definitive version of it. In my opinion, at least. I have played the Dreamcast version, and I haven't put too many hours into it, because when I realized I had to unlock the entire roster, it's like, no. Do you know how big that roster is? It is huge. You have to unlock everything by yourself. So yeah, that's why it just makes sense that they're talking about bringing it back through a port. Because there's never going to be another game like it. I know I'm talking about, like, something that has nothing to do with the game I'm playing right now, which... Whatever. Right? We've been through this before. I need something to talk about. I think I'm passionate enough about this topic now that I can make a cohesive argument about it, you know? If this were me, like, years ago, absolutely not. I would not be able to talk to this length about 2D fighting games. Speaking of 2D fighting games, actually, last night I actually went on to the Game Awards and put in my votes of what I want, you know? And every time Metroid Dread popped up, I made sure to vote for it because I want Metroid Dread to win something. At most, Game of the Year. But I have a feeling, given the response that Metroid Dread got when it came out, probably not. And that sucks. Man. But, like, when I got to the best fighting game, I honestly didn't know what to answer because I'm having a tough time right now. When I got to best fighting game, like vote for what you think is the best fighting game was, I honestly didn't know how to answer because a lot of the games that are on that are up for consideration for that spot, they're all great games. I am having a very tough time right now. But like it was, if I remember correctly, it was Demon Slayer, it was Guilty Gear Strive, it was Melty Blood, it was Virtual Fighter 5. What was the last one? I don't remember what the last one was. But like, yeah, I was looking through all of the options, and I was looking up gameplay of all of them because... Oh, Nicktoons. It was, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl was the other pick. And out of all the 5 games, I knew Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl was not it. As much as I enjoyed the hell out of playing that game, it is not Game of the Year worthy. It is not best fighting game worthy. Absolutely not. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. That game is fun. Not Game of the Year, though. So I immediately rolled that one out, and I wanted to rule out Demon Slayer because in my honest opinion, 3D fighting arena games suck ass. But I was willing to make an exception for Demon Slayer because of the animation. The animation in that game is so beautiful. It was fighting against Guilty Gear Strive. And I know that game is what it is, you know? It's hard to consider that one. And Virtual Fighter 5, that game came out and no one talked about it, so I wasn't really considering that one. I didn't even look up gameplay for that one even to consider it. Which sucks. I would have loved to contribute a Sega game as top fighting game of the year, but like literally no one talked about the game when it came out, so I know as much as everyone else. Which sucks. Oh, and Melty Blood. I know nothing about the Melty Blood series, so I just didn't even consider it. I looked up gameplay of it, I was like, this looks like any generic anime fighter made back in the PS3 area. Like, it looked like the Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax, and if you guys know what that game is, it's not the best visually, but, I mean, it's fun. And that's as much as I was going to give Melty Blood. Like, it looks fun, but I don't want to say it's Game of the Year worthy, or best fighting game worthy, I should say. So yeah, that's what I had to... That was my solution of figuring out Game of the Year and stuff like that. Alright, just one more Chaos Emerald, we're good. I also, when looking through the candidates for all the categories, I realized just how many games came out this year, and it wasn't a whole lot. Like, there is not a whole lot of games to vote for this time around. Not a bad thing, honestly. Like, the games that did come out, banger games, all around. But, like, the only one that I saw that was worth arguing about was the fighting game category. Everything else, it was like, obviously this, or I don't know enough about this category to give a valid vote. Like, best indie game category, I knew literally none of the games in there. None of the games in that category I knew about, except for, I think it was 12 Minutes. 12 Minutes was the only one I knew, so I voted for that. And I don't think that vote was just because, you know, I knew this series, I knew this game, vote for it anyways. 12 Minutes is genuinely a cool game. Like, the concept of it and everything. It was actually cool. Plus, Willem Dafoe was in it. That's a plus to it.